read too much into it as Cauley Stein gets another loose ball and leaves it for Johnson.
The one thing North Carolina Asheville did not want to do is have a game devolve into a running affair.
Tonight when they shot 50% from beyond the three-point line, Kentucky making it pretty difficult on them tonight. That's what happens when you face a long team like Kentucky. And again, Johnson.
How about that? And look at Dakari Johnson go to work, and we talked about it the other night, Larry. This Kentucky staff has put in like he got a little bump. Randall out ahead of the pack.
Nice pass by Randall.
The outlet pass.
He gets it to Young. Randall down inside to Dakari Johnson, and he finishes it off. Kentucky still in that zone defense. They've gone back to man-to-man. Good blocking side by Dakari Johnson.
The point in his career is not the fastest guy, was right there step for step.
Andrew Harrison probing. The kick to Young, another three, and Valentine got a finger on that, but the finish is good underneath for Johnson.
Kentucky's not playing Robert Morris right now. They're playing themselves. And one. Dakari Johnson will go to the line. Equal size defender. Well, that's not an equal size defender right now. The kid's 6'9", 210 pounds, but I like why they shouldn't be. Finally a tip. Dakari Johnson on the hood miss.
Best for them tonight, but I think in the long run they want to get that experience against a real good team playing fast, because when they get in their tough Sun Belt conference, it'll be to their advantage.
Dakari Johnson inside with the basket. First bucket for him. 13-point lead for the Wildcats. Back the other way. Edwards has his shot blocked. That's the fourth block by the Wildcats tonight. Off the top of the backboard, Randall comes away with it. Harrison. Right back up with it. Johnson with the basket. Young. Johnson the rebound. Missed the putback. Stays with it. Got the second shot to fall.
Pounding second chance points here in the second half. They had 3 at halftime, 25 here in the second half. We thought the emphasis would be to go inside, and Dakari Johnson again from the inside scoring.
Nice serve. Rebound. And now Andrew Harrison leads the break. And that, my friends, is the essence of the dribble drive.
Ran a loud play out of that timeout to James Young. Just didn't connect.
Young missed again. And a nice play by Dakari Johnson, not only to get it, but then to do something with it.
Oh.
And then he missed the layup.
Too close.
Johnson staying with it and getting some work done.
That could do at the top with that length and that size.
Johnson muscles it up and in to make it a one-point game.
I think he's got good ability.
Rupp Arena. And the SEC opener for these two clubs. Johnson, good move to the basket.
Very nice move.
Poitras. Johnson. Big fella. Looking like a guard flying down the floor. Timeout, Mississippi State. The floor like a guard. Poitras finds him. 51-47.
Top Big Blue fans. Good to see Coach Hall tonight.
Looks great. Young, the lefty, misfires. Johnson.
Yeah, the big fella. Go on, Dakari Johnson.
Johnson lays it up and in. He's now 4 out of 4. Give him 8.
Let's see if he can have an impact from a defensive standpoint.
Young to Poitras to Johnson. Right on the doorstep. Once and twice it goes in.
Baseline drive, the kick out to Wade. He's going to try to penetrate, has it rejected inside by Dakari Johnson.
Break his weight on the other end. And you're going against a Kentucky team that absolutely...
Young on the crossover. Nice drive and a floater picked up and scored by Johnson.
Well, for his experienced group to handle whatever needed to be done in the second half.
Dakari Johnson gets the rebound and puts it back up and in. Andrew Harrison hangs, and the tip by Dakari Johnson is good.
Harrison doing a nice job of going off the dribble.
After having way too many last Tuesday night in Fayetteville. And another shot blocked underneath, this one by Dakari Johnson. Andrew Harrison. And inside to Johnson. First time in about 4 trips down court that Kentucky ran a good-looking play and got it inside to one of the big guys.
A&M in their wing series, Brad. Dribbling the ball at the wings if you overplay. A backdoor cut.
Nice defense by Johnson.
Did. Villanova just got to shake that thing off and go on.
Yeah, forget it. Young for 3. Speaking of threes, it hit the side of the backboard and almost went in. And now, just a muscle job by Dakari Johnson.
Well, Dakari Johnson, for the minutes that he's on the floor, percentage-wise, he's their best offensive
assists, and not too many guys in Aggie history have done that. But they don't turn them into points, so it doesn't really matter. On the other end, Johnson tips his own miss in.
Brad, how about that? That was your 4-man leading the break, passing it off to the 5-man who shot it, went and got it, and scored.
One of the keys for this Georgia team will be knocking down some outside shots. They hit their first. Dakari Johnson bullies his way inside. He's starting to really turn it off with the opportunity provided by Willie Cauley-Stein struggles.
Players in the Atlanta area.
Williams against the 7-footer. Johnson gets rejected. He's got a good future. Thornton. That one got deflected by Johnson.
At the end of a gun, it just gives him a direction to shoot it.
Here's a runner. The floater won't go. Dakari Johnson underneath cleans up.
Coach, I was open. There's a reason you're open.
There's a good-looking drive, but not a finish for Aaron Harrison. Underneath.
Dakari Johnson is just going and battling.
That's the best opening he's had for a shot tonight, and he missed it. Harrison forces one up there. Johnson keeps it alive. Second chance points. That's what Kentucky does well as anybody in the country.
Back, stop the layup. Nobody got back for Kentucky.
Dakari Johnson, nice move to the baseline by the big guy.
First on the floor there. That illustrates the difference in this game. One team is competing, the other team's playing.
Bryant had to let Dakari Johnson go on that one.
You gotta stop the ball.
We mentioned the crowd tonight has been rowdy all night on this ice evening in Baton Rouge, and man, they are enjoying it right now. Almost another block shot by Mickey, but that one went in.
With here, the defense has picked up a little bit for Missouri. This is where you need to set solid screens, be sure with your passes, and aggressive with your moves.
And that's exactly what Dakari Johnson was as he went against Rossberg. Second half, they tried to get it inside. Dakari Johnson pounds his way into the paint and to the basket.
Zone right now as the shot clock goes to 12.
Here's Dakari Johnson. The freshman's minutes have gone up with Willie Cauley-Stein struggles, and he's really starting to play well. Here's Summers on the drive and blocked by Johnson. 7 Kentucky block.
Curls into the lane.
1 short of his season average for made threes. Johnson at the game's first bucket. That's his first since. Here's Colby against Johnson, who gets his second block of the second half.
As long as you don't get him an angle to the rim, Dakari Johnson just walled him up. Very good defense. Good positioning defensively. Johnson, not a great athlete, but position defense.
Yeah, Kentucky has been to the line this year on the season. Great job by Dakari Johnson. Cinnamon County High School, and of course they honored him a couple of weeks ago by retiring his jersey at his high school.
There's Dakari Johnson with 2 more off another offensive rebound. That's where he's gotten it done so far today. Hughes lost at Georgia.
Shouldn't happen on paper.
No, you're exactly right, and that's the biggest problem with the bubble teams. Mississippi State hanging around.
Harrison lobbing for Johnson, who goes over Ware, and a chance for a three-point play. Ware just picked up his third, second team foul.
7-footer out of Brooklyn, New York. The nice pass across the basket from Andrew Harrison. Draws the foul, uses his
point guard, Andrew Harrison. Auburn has been playing a lot of zone defense of late. It's becoming their primary defense, and that's how they start.
Sean Dixon Tatum gets the initial block, then Johnson goes back up, and now
two 7-footers going at each other. Dixon Tatum gets the first play, the nice rejection, but excellent job of Dakari Johnson. Kentucky working the perimeter. Now Harrison will kick it back to Young. Fires for three off the mark. Dakari Johnson already making a huge impact, and that is the exact concern for Tony Barton.
Well,
Denson in the lane. Randall the rebound. Young, scoop won't go. Boy, how about that tip from Johnson? Dakari Johnson. Too strong. Boy, he got hit a couple of times. Still got it to go in. I really like Dakari Johnson.
Guys for the rebound.
39% field goal percentage. And a lot of that went up a little bit because Alabama shot well against him.
Johnson again.
Nice move inside by Johnson. He's a kid that's improved. He's worked hard on his post moves. Now he's trying to cheer, get the crowd into it. They're saying, you don't have to do that. We're going to cheer. We love. Oh, they love their cats here. There he's in the post. Great drop step. Watch this stuff. There's the drop step. Spin back. Goes to the left hand.
Johnson, one of the many very highly touted recruits, but at the beginning.
Hawkins back to Harrison. Harrison, tough shot. And there's that offensive rebounding prowess by Dakari Johnson.
Michael Qualls, who I dubbed on College Game Day the best dunker in college basketball, now has 7.
Now there's great help by Arkansas and an equally great move with a spin away from the help.
Kitchenus into the first row almost. Dakari Johnson wheeling to the bucket and one. That was a big boy move by Dakari Johnson, the freshman out of Brooklyn. Kentucky the last 2 ball games from the 2-point part of the floor. Dakari Johnson that time does a good job of making sure that this zone defense has really confounded Kentucky at times, but Dakari Johnson with some bully ball on Yakevicius for the bucket.
Job defensively by Dakari Johnson.
All season long, especially on the perimeter. Young and the 2 Harrison twins just can't go out and lock down a good penetrating dribble.
Nice follow by Dakari Johnson off a miss by Randall. That's why what we said earlier, and Jimmy just reiterated, one of the best players in the conference. Dakari Johnson, nice entry pass from Andrew Harrison. Complexion of what Alabama can do as far as working the basketball around, because and now Dakari Johnson off a missed free throw scores again.
But Dakari Johnson, I mean, he just steps to the middle and whips Taylor in front of the rim. And the building gets electric and full of energy. And then Kentucky comes down. And that's what really good teams do, Brad.
Alabama on an 11-3 push right now to make it a 1-point ball game. Dakari Johnson muscles one up and in.
They're trying to play the post one-on-one, and that's a big body against a thin body, and Johnson, the big body, is going to win that battle every time.
Big body to the tune of.
Johnson down low against Yaget. Powers his way to the basket. I love the patience there, too, Tom. You could have. In the first half of Kentucky, loose ball, and Young's there to pick it up. Dakari Johnson, and a blocking foul, count the bucket. That is a big foul. And it's a close one, too. It's a tough call. Yeah, you get maybe just sliding just a little bit, and also get Frazier off him. Johnson with the putback with the offensive board.
For the scramble for the ball, off to Young. Harrison in the lane, off to Johnson. The big fella double clutched off the window.
Good play. Give an assist also to Randall for the excellent hustle that ball on the floor.
Off to Harrison. Shot clock at 5.
And Dave, remember early in this game, the lack of movement by Kentucky did not allow them to be aggressive. Now there's more movement. There's ball movement. There's body movement. Another putback. Flips a little bit. They've got to step it up defensively. That maybe allows them to get a few runs out on the offensive end, but they're not getting any rebounds. And Kentucky totally dominated. People knew him, but they knew he would be good. Even Johnny Jones, so we knew he'd be good. We didn't know if he'd be this good so early.
Dakari Johnson has been dynamite tonight.
Half-court trap handled easily by the Wildcat team.
That can go get his own. And you're going to have to be able to do that against the size of Kentucky.
Dakari Johnson works inside and windows it. One thing I really like about J.J. Frazier, he doesn't know what he doesn't know.
And that's very important.
Johnson, what a big body. And one.
Big body with a big move and big shoulders. John Calipari is trying to play smash mouth basketball around the rim. Putting one big on one side of the floor. Johnson and Randall on the other in case there's a...
Randall, Harrison. And now Young for 3. Comes right to Dakari Johnson. Didn't have to work for that rebound. He's going to try to work for that, though. And one.
I love that from Dakari Johnson. Because John Calipari's brought him over in this game a couple of times and said, I can't play you because you're not strong enough and tough enough with a basketball. He comes right back out, gets a strong rebound in traffic, jerks it away, attacks the 10, powers it up. Well done.
Dakari Johnson. That's a strong move. Over to Young. Was free for a second. Gives it to Dakari Johnson. Only 50% for the game from the line. Watkins gets rid of it in a hurry. To Johnson. And they've got a three-point opportunity at this end.
How about Johnson? That's 2 times now where he's of getting post position. This time against the double team, able to get up over the top of Harrell for the finish.
And Harrell is slapped. Hawkins. And Johnson able to take it to the basket. Follow-up, yes, by Harrell. Kentucky pushes ahead. Johnson. Johnson. Johnson's having a big game. Aaron Harrison. Put back and in by Dakari Johnson.
Oh boy, he has been so big for Kentucky here tonight. Just a good contest there by Vantrese, and Johnson just there, aggressive to attack the offensive glass.
And Vantrese. Smith on the inbounds throw. And again it's Johnson, the freshman from Brooklyn.
Yeah, and good contest there by Randall. He got beat off the dribble but stayed with the play and just did enough to affect the shot.
Dakari Johnson backs in on Robinson at the other end. It will get frighteningly close on Friday night. What a comeback attempt by the Vols as Dakari Johnson makes the move on the blocks.
3-1. They really have kind of confused Kentucky a little bit.
Down low. What a feed. We saw that the other night.
And you see here, right off the dribble, beautiful find there. And that's the advantage with his size, because one thing that 1-3-1 does, when you can have a guy like LeVert
under 3 minutes to go. Dakari Johnson. And Morgan was afraid to get too close with the 3 fouls.
Down and spins out.
To Dakari Johnson, and he taps it in.
And that's where I think
The Harrisons have also really improved point line.
And you can see Wisconsin's strategy here, just forcing Kentucky to the perimeter, but on the offensive glass, as usual.
Harrison. Followed up, no, by Johnson. Gives it back, and Kaminsky commits his second foul, and Kentucky's back ahead. Its first lead since 7-5.
This team, the entire postseason, they've been down big early, but they found a way to rally, and that typically includes attacking the offensive glass.
I said this in the first half. I think it bears repeating. Kentucky figured out their best offense was not to throw.
Driving for the basket. Also the sixth man of the year in the Big Ten. Right back, rattling out, and Dakari Johnson.
And even though he doesn't score, again, the attack of the rim.
Long time before he got an attempt off on Saturday. Harrison, Andrew down low, Dakari Johnson, and this time he scores on the inside.
This is Kentucky's advantage.
Seconds to get it started. Right, down low, and another block, this time by Dakari Johnson. Finish from right underneath.
Yeah, and it's a great play by Dakari Johnson coming over, but Grima had to make a play with the basketball in that possession.
Off the back of that one, too, off the back of the rim. Couple of empty trips for the Huskies, and Harrison dishes to Dakari Johnson for the easy two, and now, again, a momentum shift.